This podcast is brought to you by the Texas Hill Country River region in Uvalde County. What's super unique about this area is that the Frio, Nueces, and Sabinal rivers are all located in the same county. It's like the hill country that you know and love, just more rural, so you're surrounded with wildlife, and life just kind of slows down out here, so you can really enjoy the simple pleasures like camping, fishing, and just enjoying the company of the people that you love.
For more information, go to visituvaldecounty.com. Buenos dias, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the In Between Podcast. I'm Jake.
And I'm Leah.
And today we have Hailey Hart with us. Hello, Hailey.
Hi.
Hailey is the river cleanup and digital marketing manager for the Texas Hill Country River region. And if you saw the previous podcast, we had the executive director, Erica Sagabeel,
yes.
Sagabeel, on, and now we're having Hailey. So thank you for taking the time out to do this.
Yeah, I'm excited.
It's exciting because we recently have gotten a lot of rain, which is like always on the top of mind of the locals here, whether you're in the business or you just live here. But yeah, so it's been good to get rain. So more rain equals more water in the river, which probably equals more workload for you.
Yes, but in a good way.
Yeah, definitely. It's always a good thing to get a lot of more rain for the river. It's kind of like the lifeblood for us out here, right? For all the businesses that we heavily depend on what the river levels are doing, because that kind of dictates what your business is going to do. But you're very familiar about that because you have been in the lodging business and other stuff.
Yeah, pretty much my whole life. Most of my life I've been here. Grew up here. My parents ran house pasture for a little while. So we got the concert restaurant side of it. And then they went on to buy Neil's. So we were in the lodging business and then ended up in Lakey. And now we have they have cabins and a restaurant and bar. And
it's called?
The Lakey Inn.
The Lakey Inn, yes.
And then the back porch.
The back porch, and then the restaurant is?
The Casino Grill.
The Casino Grill, which I love the quesadillas there. Mm-hmm. The al pastor quesadillas. So if you're ever in Concan, drive up to Lakey, or if you need a spot to stay in Lakey, there's always the Lakey Inn. You can get everything there: food, drink, and a place to stay.
Yeah, live music.
Oh, live music. Y'all do karaoke too?
Karaoke. Mm-hmm.
What's the other thing?
The Cumbia Nights.
Oh, you do? Oh, I was thinking about
they do all kinds of stuff, and it's always packed. There's always so many people there. It's so fun. So let's jump into who you are and what you do and this position that you have and how, in my opinion, you are so uniquely, uniquely qualified for this job because of everything that we just talked about and how you've grown up out here in the business, right smack dab in the middle of it. So who are you and what are you?
So I am the digital marketing manager. So I do all of our promotionals, all of our website, our social media. I'm trying to get that out there and get our name out, bring people to the area. And then I run our river cleanup program, which is super cool. We pay $15 an hour per person. And while you're cleaning the river, those funds can be donated to any nonprofit that you want. So we can send the money all over, wherever, as long as the cleaning just has to be in Uvalde County. So we have quite a few lined up this year already. So that's really exciting.
Can you tell us what rivers are in Uvalde County?
Yeah. So I take care of the Nueces, Frio, and Sabinal rivers. So we've got cleanup scheduled on all three. I've got a huge one tomorrow on the Nueces with a group. So the seniors from Sabinal are going to come out and clean the Nueces. So
what does a typical river cleanup day look like for someone who's like, we know, right?
Yeah.
But if someone's listening, they don't know, like, what are you talking about? Does that mean like I have to go to the river and get in it, like in my jeans, or like, can you explain like
it can look a little different, but the main way is like we'll meet up at one of the local outfitters. We'll get t-shirts passed out, trash grabbers, yellow bags, take a few pictures of before, and then we'll basically go do a float. Like they get to pick which float they want to do, and go float the river and clean while we're floating. And so it's a lot of fun. It's kind of, you get to enjoy it, but also get to make it more beautiful for everyone else to come. Or we've seen, like before we got the rain, we weren't able to float as easily. So we had a few river cleanups. We went and cleaned Garner Park and the water or the river area down there. And then we did like a kind of hike along the side of the river and cleaned Seven Bluffs Crossing and up and down the crossing a little bit. So that was more of just, we were in the water, but we weren't actually floating, just without as much rain. But now I think next week I have one on Monday and I think we'll be able to float. So that's exciting.
Oh, nice. Yeah. And you also have kayaks.
Yes, we have 6 kayaks that we can use. So those are mainly for the Nueces and the Sabinal, just because they're not as populated, or there's not any river outfitters to do tubing or anything there. So
what would that look like? Would you go with them, or?
I think it really just depends on the group. There's a group that's going to be here all weekend cleaning. They're coming in tonight and they're doing like 5 days of cleaning while they're here, but they've done it every year. So I'm kind of just letting them go on their own, because they're going to do a lot of the spots that we can't necessarily get to as easily. So they could take the kayaks and I would just let them use them. But with like the high school groups and the school groups, I would probably go with them just because they might not be as strong or know exactly where to get in and where to get out and everything.
Right. I think that's such a unique thing that that y'all are doing with that. And it's a way to give back and kind of help make this area a little bit more better than the way you found it, which is something we always hope people would take into consideration when they come out here, is leave it better than the way you found it.
Exactly.
And anyone can do the river cleanup. You don't have to live here. You don't have to be here. As long as you have whether it's a church group or nonprofit charity, something to donate those funds to.
Right. Yeah. We even have some groups that come out and it's like a family of 12 that comes on vacation and they decide, hey, we want to do a river cleanup while we're here. So they could sign up for it as well. As long as I don't have another one that overlaps.
Mm-hmm. So you can only do one a day, or how does that work?
It just kind of depends. Like, I guess with those groups, I try to just do one a day so I can be more hands-on with them, and be around to take pictures and help them out with anything that they need. But like this weekend, I have one tomorrow on the Nueces, and I also have a group that's going to be doing Happy Hollow float. But the Happy Hollow group, they're the ones that they do it every year. They know exactly where to get in, where to get out, how to do it. So Melissa's going to kind of handle that one for me.
I think I said it in the last episode with Erica, but this is one of my favorite things that y'all do. I love, love, love this initiative because you're giving back on so many levels when you participate in the river cleanup. You're raising money for charity, which is always a great thing. You're, taking care of the river, cleaning up the river, and you're having so much fun while you do it. And I think it's such a great opportunity for groups that need to raise money to not have to do a car wash or something. This is so much more fun than a car wash or selling donuts. You're floating the river. So I love that y'all do it, and what you're doing with it and the levels that y'all are going to be taking it to, I think is really exciting.
It's really cool. We also are doing on September 16th, I'm hopefully going to get flyers out soon. We are doing our annual trash bash. And so that is actually, we're getting the local fire departments involved. We have like Nueces Canyon, Lakey, Uvalde, Canipa, Sabinal, and Utopia. And all the money that's raised, people can decide which fire department it'll go to. So all that money, each person will have $45 because it's going to be 3 hours of cleaning. So $15 an hour, $45. And they can pick which fire department it goes to help put the money back into the community. So we're going to have a DJ in the morning from like 10 to 1 for registration, and like bouncing castles and food and drinks, and like do a whole morning festival. And then everyone will go clean for a few hours and then meet back up at House Pasture for dinner and dueling pianos. So
yeah, that's going to be
it'll
exciting.
be fun.
So if someone's interested in doing that or participating in river cleanup or the trash bash, do they contact you? Do they go to the website? Where do they go? Or is it going to be on social media?
It'll be the trash bash. We'll send flyers out and have it all over social media and flyers all over, hopefully. And then river cleanup, they can go to our website or get in touch with me.
And that's visit uvaldecounty.com. Okay, perfect. Speaking of giving back to the community, I like one of the things that you did, one of the first things you did whenever you got in this position, because you're, 3 months?
I started, December.
Oh,
Mid-December,
wow.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Time flying by.
I know.
I'm thinking like two months ago.
Yeah.
No, way off. You decided to do have the FFA organizations and with the local schools do like a competition. Can you explain what all that was?
So I got the local FFA chapters or invited them to join this competition to rebuild and redesign our yellow up to you trash bags dispensers. So the ones that we have right now, like everyone's boxes are starting to fall apart. They've been weathered. They look more like trash cans now than yellow bag dispensers. So we wanted to kind of freshen it up, give it a new look, maybe a different style. We had one school that wanted to participate out of all of them. So, which was fine. Everyone's busy and crazy right now. So Knippo is the sole school that decided to do it. They are currently working. I think they're just about done with that. So we'll get our prototype done and then find someone that can build them all for us if we like it.
Yeah, and then you awarded them.
Yeah, so
you're awarding them.
They'll get $2,000 towards their ag department and then reimbursed for any of the materials that they had to purchase.
I think that's pretty neat for local FFA organizations, and they're also doing something to help give back to their community because they're here local as well, and whether they realize it or not. So it's also a good opportunity to educate them about how important it is to keep these rivers clean, just by them building a box for the bags that you use to pick up trash. And if you're ever like in Concan or Uvalde County, so it could be Utopia, Sabinal, Canepa, Chalk Bluff, you can find these bags.
Yes. So I distribute them throughout the whole county. I send emails out to all the business owners and make sure that they're stocked and don't need any more. That's the last thing we want is for someone not to have some and people get on the river and not have a yellow bag to take care of their trash.
And you can just go and get one. Some of them are outside gas stations. Some of them, like us, we have it here on our property. And where else would they find them? On the river, lower water crossings? I'm
working on getting them at the crossings, hopefully. With our new river contractor, I'm going to see if we can get that worked out to where there's always bags at every crossing. The only issue is that they deteriorate in the sun. So making sure that they're covered and someone doesn't leave like a bin open or something and get them ruined. So
one of the great things about these bags, I don't know if I mentioned, they're mesh bags. And so when you're floating the river, you can just tie them on your tube and they can be down in the water because they're mesh and the water just goes through them. And then all your trash from your Dr. Peppers that you're drinking while you float, you can put them in that mesh bag and you don't have to have it in your lap like a trash bag or like
it doesn't weigh you down or anything.
Yeah. So they're great to use. I mean, that's what they're made for, to use while you're floating. For anyone who has never seen one before, that's what they look like. Yellow and mesh.
Yellow and mesh. And they're biodegradable, so we don't have to worry about them harming anything.
Yeah. Oh, nice. That's the added bonus. And so whenever you get to your exit point, there's dumpsters where you can dump it. Dump your bags
and we just changed that. As of yesterday, we have all new dumpsters. So they were yellow before, now they're black. But I'll have big magnets on them soon that say what they're for.
Okay.
So, at every crossing, there's at least 2, most crossings are 3 big black dumpsters. And that's for all the river trash.
Awesome.
for anyone to use. So,
Yeah, so they will be marked, so you'll know where to throw your bags. Aside from the river cleanup, what are some of the other things that you have going on?
we're working on the solar eclipse. You've been big in that. We're getting ready for that. We're trying to focus more on October now because April's kind of taken care of itself. So we're working on getting concerts and different events for October to draw people out here. We're working on the trash bash, like I said. We have star parties on Fridays. So every Friday in June and July, we have some amateur astronomers coming out and doing star parties, and they have their telescopes and projectors and little games and everything for kids. So that's a lot of fun. And then on Thursdays, Eric and I are starting like a kids activity every Thursday in June and July. So it'll be like planting a little plant or painting a pot and then planting a plant in it, making leaf necklaces, making like little picture frames with popsicle sticks and then putting different leaves in them. So just, we're trying to be very like nature centric.
I think that's such a great idea that y'all are doing that. Y'all just did y'all's annual meeting last week. Y'all introduced that idea and talked about it. So I thought when I heard that, I was like, oh, that's great. Yeah. You weren't there though. You were busy. And I was like, oh, I knew you would like that.
I think that's so fun. And there's always families here and they float the river, they go to the river, but then they're, looking for other things to do and, maybe don't necessarily have the money to go out and pay to go horseback riding or do some of the other things that you can do. Yeah. So I love that y'all are offering activities for
and it'll be totally free. Like they won't have to pay for anything. That's and then we've thought about because making like a picture frame or painting a pot and planting a plant is more of an older, like maybe 4 and up kind of thing where they can kind of be more hands-on. And so for the little ones like Luna, we're trying to figure out like an activity that we can always have to where if older siblings are doing something, the younger ones also have some sort of, whether it's like a little thing with Orbeez in it and they have to like dig through to find the toys or some sort of activity for them as well.
That is, I love that so much. I think I speak for many people. I always thought this was unique to my family, but it is definitely not. One of my favorite things to do when I came to the river was find river rocks and paint them. We would do that every year. Well, apparently everybody does that. Like that's a thing. And so this is a great way to introduce some new activities that people can do in addition to painting rocks when they come
That'll
here.
be definitely one of the activities that we have.
I mean, it's a classic.
Yes.
Yeah.
We can't let go of that.
No, everyone loves painting rocks. Something I never came out as a kid here. I was just a teenager, but people love painting rocks. And it's crazy. Like, I wonder how that started. I mean, was it a thing when you were growing up?
I've always done it. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I guess we just always had paint. We always did it. Yeah.
We would bring our paint. It's somebody who would visit here. My mom would pack the paint, or we would grab it at Walmart on the way in Uvalde and bring the paint, find the rocks. And
the one thing that I was reminded of whenever y'all were talking about making
leaf necklaces.
I was thinking about what Leah used to do when she was a kid. You would make bracelets.
Oh, the nature bracelets. Yeah. Did you ever do that? Where you take the tape and you put it on your wrist backwards, and stick stuff to it, stick flowers.
Fun.
And I love that. And that's, free, just tape. But Joshua sells, it's like it's a bracelet that's kind of braided and woven where you can pick flowers or leaves or whatever, and you stick it in there. So it's a permanent bracelet, but then you stick the stuff in it. And it's really fun, but it's basically like the bougie version of what we did as kids with tape.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's fun. So you can get creative with activities to do for kids, and they'll never forget it.
Right. And that's what we're hoping that like all these activities we're doing, it's something that they can take home with them and then do it with their friends at home that didn't get to do it here. Like simple activities that they can take back with them.
That's only going to be Thursdays, June and July.
Yes.
So while we're talking about kids, I want to talk about you as a kid, because I think how you grew up is super interesting and super cool. Growing up in your parents' businesses, watching them as entrepreneurs and the way that that's affected you. And then also, I'd like to talk about what it's like growing up in like tourism, right? Like in an area that's a tourist town. So both of those things I think are really interesting, in my opinion, and all of the young people that I meet. Because when we met you, you were in high school, and we were just blown away.
Were you in high school?
Yeah. She was in high school.
I thought
and we were like,
college.
oh my God, exactly. So let's talk about that.
Okay. So yeah, growing up in businesses, I mean, I was right there, my parents' right-hand person. I mean, they probably, I don't know. They definitely say that they needed me more than I thought they did, but I don't know if they were just like trying to fill my head. But I've been super hard worker since I was young, because that's just how I was raised. That's what, when they both went to work, we had to go to work with them. We couldn't just stay at home. I mean, we could, but it was boring at home. We had more fun if we went to work. So, I was always right there at Neil's. I was running the desk and taking reservations and doing all the things at 14 years old that all the adults are doing. And then at House Pasture before that, I was like 10 years old when we started running House Pasture, and I was immediately waiting tables and taking reservations and doing all the things as a 10-year-old that you don't really do until high school. But I think it definitely helped me become I'm put 100% into everything I do. And I think a lot of that is because of how my parents pushed me as a young kid to be involved and step up to the plate when most kids didn't have to do that.
Yeah, there's definitely something to be said about that, forcing you into that, I guess, situation, and you kind of learn how to navigate and deal with people.
Oh my gosh, when I got my first tip as a waitress, I was like, they just left me $5. I just made $5. And then I was like hooked. I was like, okay, I don't even care to go do anything else now. I just want to work.
One thing that we noticed about you when we met you when you were in high school, and others that have grown up out here in their parents' businesses, is just your like communication skills with adults. I think growing up in your parents' business, having to talk to adults, there was none of that like bashfulness.
Yeah.
You know?
We're definitely not. None of us are.
Yeah.
We're good at, or we do have that. Yeah.
So when you were growing up out here, what's the sentiment of the kids? Are they looking, I mean, I guess as a kid, you're always looking forward to the summer, right? But is it any different here? Because you're looking forward to meeting people coming to your area?
Yeah.
Or like, what is it?
It was great. Well, and I guess when we were younger, like it didn't really kick in, but we were just like, oh, we're ready for summer just like everyone else. But then once we got to like junior high and high school, it really kicked in because we all had cell phones at that point, and we'd go to the Garner dance and meet all the boys. And so then we made friends though, and so we'd keep in touch with them all throughout the school year with all the kids that we met over the summer, and some of them would come multiple times in the summer. So we like created some really strong friendships. And then keep in touch with them all summer or all school year. And then it was so exciting because we knew that friend that no one else was friends with them from here. Like they were our friend from the outside.
From the outside world.
Outside of the hills.
Outside of the canyon. So that was always fun because we got to like see those friends that you didn't always get to see.
Mm-hmm. Was that unique to the Garner people?
I think so. Yeah.
Because I felt like that was for me, that's where I was introduced to this area because of Garner. I never knew Concan was a thing, or Lakey was a place that we would go to go get some adult beverages. That was the closest spot to go. But aside from that, I didn't know everything else that existed in Lakey. I didn't know about Concan, the House Pasture. I didn't know about any of that. It was just the people at Garner State Park. And they come, a lot of the people that go to Garner State Park, they come every year religiously. and a lot of them stay in the same spots. They want to stay in the same spot they were at the year before. And then you would see those people and come to make friends with them and build relationships because they would come at the same time every year.
Yeah, you knew when they were coming.
Yeah.
So you knew exactly when.
Yeah. So that's something that's so special about the people of Garner that go to Garner. You know, that you're all there at the same time. You always go every year, and it's just a fun way to reconnect with the people you met in the previous years.
I'm like so interested. This is such a weird thing, probably, but once I like have kids and they're old enough to go to the Garner dance, if I'll like recognize any of the people there with their kids.
Probably, because they come for generations and generations. They all have their little flags outside of the campsite saying that we've been coming since 1952 or whatever the date is. So probably.
But it'll be interesting to be like, oh my gosh, we used to be friends. We used to hang out here. Now we're here with our kids. I danced with
your brother. Yeah. It's so crazy. But you know, I think that spills over into Concan as well, because people will book the houses, especially the bigger houses, like when they check out, like the day, that's what we used to do. The day we would check out, we would book it for the same time next year. And we came every year, same time, same place, same house. And so I think that culture that, you know, Garner kind of created spills over some into Concan. I don't think it's as hardcore, but
no, that's definitely true. Whenever we had meals, there was so many people that did that. And we were almost completely booked for the next summer just based off of everyone that was there that summer. You know, it's the same people. And it's crazy because some of them almost become like extended family because you see them so often. They would come multiple times a summer, every summer. And so you get to be really close with them. And you're like, so crazy that this great friendship started over them just staying in a cabin in your hometown.
It's so true. I mean, when we got pregnant with Luna, we had guests that gave us baby gifts. And like, that's, you know, I'm never going to forget that. Like, that's a huge marker in our life. And the fact that they did that, like, it's just so special and so sweet. So it is true. It's like you have this extended family that kind of is created by the people that stay with you.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's unique to this area or if it's like that.
I like to say it is. We're original.
We're special. We're special. We're extra special.
Yeah, super fun. I'm getting excited. You know, summer's 2 weeks away. No, less than 2 weeks.
A week away next weekend.
Memorial Day weekend.
I know. I've been to all the shops recently and everybody is just like new inventory. You walk in right now and there's just boxes on top of boxes on top of boxes. And it's like I said it today, it's the storm before the storm because it's just unloading all the inventory and getting ready.
And for us, it's just like all the upkeep, the maintenance, like trying to get stuff ready to, you know.
Make sure all your ACs work. Oh my gosh, I know my parents are like, check every AC before it gets too hot.
Yeah.
Definitely. Double check, triple check.
One of the things that we picked up on from the locals and also from our experience the first and second year is that you don't really see the other locals afterwards. So I think it was your parents that told us, all right, like we went to go eat there one, I think it was last year, and they're like, okay, we'll see y'all in September.
Yeah.
You know,
everyone just hunkered down in their office.
Working, answering phone calls and just running ragged. And and then we all see each other afterwards and we're all like, fresh.
We're like, we did it. We survived.
Yeah, another summer. But I'm excited about this summer. Definitely feels different than the last couple of summers.
Yeah.
So I hope it's going to be a good one. I'm praying it's going to be a good one. So it will be.
It gets a little more rain before.
A lot more rain.
A lot more rain.
Always. Yes. I don't know if we can ever have enough rain. No. It's always going to be like, well, we could use a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think it was Brett Remke said, you know, we don't want to sound like greedy little children, but we would like a little bit more, please.
There was something else that you have worked on or are introducing, Bandwango.
Oh, yes.
What is that?
I thought you were going to say something else. So there's two things.
There is actually, yes.
The coloring book.
Yes,
it was
the
other
nature book. Yeah.
Yeah, so Bandwango, we're shooting for June 20th. If we can get it rolling before then, that would be awesome. So we're like, between their staff and myself, we're just going, trying to get this thing going up. But it's an online scavenger hunt kind of. And so the businesses that opted in can say, like for y'all, for instance, if y'all opted in to do it, you could say, come see our mural on our wall. And whenever they're within a certain radius of that, they can check in. And then they get so many points onto their account. Then they can go to Happy Hollow, and Happy Hollows could be like, take a picture at the river, or come see our mural on our wall, whatever they decide. And then once they're within a certain radius, they can check in and they get more points. Once they accumulate so many points, they can come trade them in for swag at the visitor center. So then it gets people to come back to the visitor center. It gets people to check out multiple businesses throughout the area. You can also add discounts to it if you wanted to. So like once they check in here, you could say like, hey, 10% off your next stay since you came and checked in. And different things like that. We can also add, if we hopefully have a birding festival going soon or within the next year or so, we're working on that. We can sell passes for the festival through that app as well, or through that platform. It's not an app. So we're hoping that it just kind of gets people to, like you were saying, when people go to Garner, they just stay in Garner. People that come to Concan or Neal's, they just stay in that area. They don't really venture out. So we're hoping this will kind of get people to go out and see the rest of the area and see how beautiful it is and the different businesses.
Yeah, because there is a lot more than just Garner State Park.
And just the river.
The river.
Yeah, and hopefully we get rain, but if there isn't much, we just wanted to have other activities to do other than the river. We don't want people to come here and just have to count on that as their whole activity. So
there is a lot to do here. And I think that's going to be a great way to get people introduced to those other things, to do other activities. So I'm glad that y'all are working on that, and then you are busy. Besides that, and all the eclipse though, because planning for the eclipse has not been a small feat.
No.
It's a meetings up the wazoo. I mean, you got meetings. You've been involved in meetings since
I started. I think like the second or third day that I started, we had meetings.
Yeah.
It's been crazy.
So, but the eclipses are going to be crazy, phenomenal. So I'm excited. I'm really excited about that. But yeah, the other thing was the nature book.
Yes. So the activity book I created, we have about 800 in stock right now, and I just ordered another 5,000. So we don't know how long that'll last us, but we're not imagining that it'll last very long because I'm going to open it up to all of the lodging partners in local like restaurants. Probably just those. Yeah. Send those out, or I'm going to send out a form so that you can request books to hand out to your guests. And so it'll be a little book and a little thing of crayons, so that for all the young tourists in the area, it talks about like there's a 2-page layout of like find all the trash on the river, so that they're more conscious of like river trash and that we need to keep our area clean. And then there's like all sorts of coloring pictures and activities throughout the book. So I think it's like 20 pages.
Wow. So, I don't think I knew about this. And
I need to bring one for Luna.
Oh my gosh. Well, I am putting together a little nature box. Is she over there by you?
Yes.
I'm putting together a little nature box for our guests with activities. So I was just going to print stuff off the internet.
No, we have them
this
for
is
you.
Homegrown. So that's perfect. That's so exciting.
I think it's such a unique idea and another way to educate the younger generation coming out here. As far as, keeping the rivers clean and, getting out there in nature, where a lot of kids nowadays, especially, I guess I shouldn't really say from the city. I mean, it's everywhere, but kids are online. they're on their phones, they're on the computers, they're indoors most of the time nowadays. They don't really venture out and get outside. So this is, when you come out to this area, that's what being in this area is all about. Just enjoying nature, recharging your batteries and getting out, exploring. So yeah, I think that this is going to be a good way for kids to get kids involved in doing those type of activities. So
I hope so. That's a goal.
Yes, I love it. I'm so excited. We definitely want some.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, is there anything else we're missing that you're doing? Oh, the birding festival. I know you and Erica are working on.
We're trying to get that.
Is that going to be something for next year?
We are hoping so. We're still in the early planning stages of getting contacts and talking to some locals that have a lot more information than we do. Until Eric and I started here, neither of us were really birding people. We didn't really get into it, but now we both have hummingbird feeders and bird feeders outside of our office windows, and we're like yelling at each other constantly back and forth. We're like, "Come look at the bird! Come look at the bird!" We're like Googling, trying to figure out what it is.
So I just saw a meme today that another local posted about. It's funny how age creeps up on you.
Yes.
Did you see that?
My fiance sent that to me this morning.
Yes, I'm like, and I think we all are like, oh my. So you didn't see it because you're not online. It said something about like, it's funny how age creeps up on you, and you go from, I don't know, carefree life to being excited about birds or something. What does it say?
As you age, it's ridiculous how fast bird watching creeps up on you. You spend your whole life being 100% indifferent to birds. And then one day you're like, oh my gosh, is that a yellow rumpled warbler? Right? I don't know if I said that right. But.
Yeah. It's definitely like that. And it also helps when you live out here, as this is one of the best places to see birds, and there's beautiful birds out here.
So many different kinds. It's crazy. And they're all so colorful. Mm-hmm. They're so pretty.
Very pretty. Was it, I think, Lee Hale? I always like to quote him. He calls this area the ecological crossroads, where east meets west and north meets south. And that's such a unique way of putting what this area is. It's so diverse when eco-diverse. There's a lot of eco-diversity here. A lot of nature things that come in. Birds, for example, they come here when they're migrating. They come to this area and then they split off from here. It's like I guess kind of like a meeting point. But
I remember the first time I saw a painted bunching. We were at Neil's and we were in a meeting, and all of a sudden this parrot-looking rainbow bird is at the window at Neil's, and I'm freaking out during the middle of this meeting. They're so beautiful.
They are.
They come here.
There's been one at our office, just like hanging out. I've been trying to get a picture of it, but it flies away every time I get up.
We were there the other 2 days ago. I was picking up the bags.
Oh yeah,
and I was checking out the wildflowers.
There's so many.
Yeah, so I thought I saw a beautiful bird, but it was just a female cardinal.
Oh.
So
that's a beautiful bird.
Yeah,
beautiful bird. Yeah. Just common, but beautiful.
More common, yeah. This is true. Aside from that, what are you most excited about?
I'm excited to my whole job now is being on the river. I'm like, it's a dream. I get to float the river for my job. So I'm really excited about that this summer. And then hopefully getting some more rain and our trash bash being awesome. I'm really hoping for a huge turnout. Last year was not as big, but with the water situation and everything, there just wasn't many people excited about it. So hopefully we can get a big crowd this year and have a lot of fun doing it.
Well, we will definitely be there, be a part of it, because I think it's going to be good. Y'all have a lot going on for it, with the food and the music and the dueling pianos.
I'm so excited.
We've tried to catch them in the past and just
they're so fun.
Have missed them. But all that information, you can find it you'll have it on the online and on your socials.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook?
Oh, Facebook and Instagram. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for being here. This has been great episode and fun, and glad we
Thank y'all
finally
for
did
having
this.
me.
Yeah, we appreciate you taking the time out. We know you're very busy.
So busy.
You and Erica are very busy, and we appreciate everything that y'all are doing. So,
Well, thank you. It's been fun.
Thank y'all, and that's a wrap, y'all. So we will see y'all on the next one. You have any last
Bye.
things? Hasta luego.